Friday, so you can wrap up the week that was and dive headfirst into the weekend. But don't worry, I won't leave you alone in the deep end because I've got you the latest movies and music releases and a whole lot more to help you float through. You've tuned into Unscripted on WION. I'm Francesca Mascarenas, bringing you the full scoop from the world of entertainment. This week, I'm catching up with Vidya, Balan and Mahesh Bhatt in an exclusive conversation just for you, and Aaron explores the new age man and the options to style him better, away from the conventional. Let's start with what's making headlines this week. Beginning with the loudest news of the week, the nominations for the Billboard Music Awards are out and they're breaking records at the nomination stage itself. The Chainsmokers and Drake have tied at an all-time record of the artist who has received the most number of nominations in a year. 22 nominations. Yes, 22 nominations each. While the Top Hot 100 song promises to be the most anticipated category, the Chainsmokers received 2 nominations for their hit singles Closer featuring Halsey and Don't Let Me Down featuring Dea. They will be competing with Drake's One Dance.
One more time before I go, higher powers taking hold on me.
Justin Timberlake's Can't Stop the Feeling.
Ooh, I can't take my eyes off it, moving so phenomenally. Boom on like the way we rock it, so don't stop.
And 21 Pilots' Heathens.
Please don't make any sudden moves. You don't know the half of the abuse.
Artists nominated who are not too far behind in the running are 21 Pilots with nods in 17 categories and Rihanna with nods across 14. The awards go live from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas on May 21st. Earlier this week, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inducted its newest class of musicians in New York. The inductees include ELO, Joan Baez, Journey, Pearl Jam, Tupac Shakur, Yes and Nile Rodgers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 32nd Annual Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
The 32nd Annual Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony saw a night where nostalgia was mixed with calls to political action. While former Journey frontman Steve Perry reunited with his Don't Stop Believing bandmates to perform on stage after 25 years, emotions ran high for the induction of Tupac Shakur, who was gunned down in 1996 at the age of 25. The night also saw tributes paid to the late Prince by Lenny Kravitz and the late Chuck Berry by ELO. The fantastical world of Harry Potter, created by J.K. Rowling, cast its latest spell on the Olivier Awards by scooping up 9 big wins at Britain's big night for theatre. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, the 8th story in the Harry Potter series, co-written as a stage play by J.K. Rowling and Jack Thorne, entered the Olivier Awards this year with 11 nominations and won 9 of these, including Best New Play, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor and Actress for the roles of Harry, Hermione and Draco Malfoy's son, Scorpius.
The winner is Anthony Boyle for Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
And now for one of my favorite parts of the show, it's time to bring you the latest movies releasing at the box office and the newest movie trailers of the films to come. Mark your calendars and thank me later.
Car chases, death stunts, drifts, spins, action and drama.
Ouch.
You guessed it, the 8th installment of the Fast and Furious universe is finally here. The film starring Vin Diesel, Dwayne Johnson, Jason Statham is the first film not to star Paul Walker, who died in an accident during the filming of Furious 7. Well, talking about the plot, you don't want to miss the twist.
Oh shit! We're gonna need a bigger truck!
Did you ever think you'd betray your family the way you did today?
Vin Diesel, our very own Dominic Toretto, has turned on his team under the command of the winter blonde villain, Cypher.
High-tech terrorism. I will beat you like a Cherokee drum.
The Fate of the Furious, April 14. Mark the date for your date fast. Roman lost his wife and child in a plane crash. He blames the air traffic controller, Jake Bananas, and wants answers.
X112, do you copy?
This is the story of the 2017 American drama thriller starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Scoot McNairy.
You hold yourself responsible.
In order to guarantee your safety for you and your family, consider making a change.
The film is based on the real-life Uberlingen mid-air collision and the subsequent murder of Danish air traffic controller Peter Nielsen.
Show him a photograph.
Aftermath releasing on April 14th.
I want him to apologize.
My body, my house, my country, my rules.
आप जिसे जुबान से कोठा और दिमाग में खाना सोच रहे हैं ना, ये मेरा घर है, मेरा वतन। और इससे पहले कि कोई हमें यहाँ से हटाए, हम उसके हाथ, पैर और जिस्म का वो क्या कहते हैं? पार्टीशन कर देंगे।
The bold statement might remind you of the much-awaited Hindi period drama starring none other than the award-winning actor Vidya Balan. The movie will see Vidya Balan playing the lead role of a brothel's madam.
अगस्त 1947 हिंदुस्तान के आखिरी वाइसरॉय लॉर्ड माउंटबेटन के फरमान ने एक मुल्क के दो हिस्से कर दिए।
Directed by Srijit Mukherjee, the film is set in the backdrop of the late Indian independence period of 1948 and is a Hindi remake of the Bengali film Raj Kahini. Begum Jaan in theatres near you on April 14th.
इस जंग को खत्म किए बिना असी इत्थों नहीं जावांगे।
Thor fans rejoice as Marvel finally releases the trailer for the third film in the Thor franchise. And surprisingly, the trailer also grabs the title of the most watched trailer in 24 hours with 136 million views. The film, directed by Taika Waititi, will see the return of Chris Hemsworth as the titular character and Cate Blanchett as the new powerful villain.
We know each other. He's a friend from work. Oh, come on.
Watch out for the Thor this November.
स्विमिंग पूल की स्पेलिंग आती है तुमको?
यार जो बता दी तो नहाने देंगे।
अच्छा चलो बताओ।
हाँ?
क्या है?
स्विमिंग।
हाँ।
तो ऐसे तो आ गया अपने पहले।
आ गया। आगे।
तो आगे हिसाब लगा लो। उसमें क्या इतनी दिक्कत थोड़ी है।
Irfan Khan's latest movie trailer will make you laugh and make you think.
मिट्टू ना बुलाऊं क्या बुलाऊं तुझे?
तुम मुझे बुलाना क्या बुलाओगे मुझे?
हनी।
The film, directed by Saket Chaudhary, is a satire on the Indian education system. Starring Pakistani actor Sabaa Qamar and Bollywood actor Irfan Khan, the movie aims to highlight the problems Hindi medium people face in today's society, where English is considered a yardstick for a person's intelligence.
कोई अंग्रेजी में बात करेगा तो उसकी रूह कांप जाएगी, फिट नहीं हो पाएगी ना सोसाइटी में, तो लोनली और डिप्रेस हो जाएगी, और अगर उसे ड्रग्स लेना शुरू कर दिया तो?
Hindi medium releasing in cinemas on May 12th.
Today, God promise I speak English because English is India and India is English.
Now, even though The Fast and the Furious 8 is the first movie from the Fast and the Furious franchise to not have Paul Walker in it, I'm sure we'll see him in at least a few flashbacks because the movies are just incomplete without him. I'm going to take a short break, but I'd suggest you don't go anywhere. When I'm back, I've got you a candid conversation with Begum Jaan herself, the gorgeous Vidya Balan, and the legendary Mahesh Bhatt. Welcome back to Unscripted. Thanks for staying tuned. Now, last week, Aaron got all you ladies some really quirky and curious accessories, and of course, I'm reaping the benefits from that trip. But today, Aaron's got something special for all you men out there. Check it out.
Fascinated by his Indo-Western fusion, I traveled to Ujjwal Dubey's studio to find out the traits of what makes his label sing. A design graduate from the National Institute of Fashion Technology is quickly becoming a favorite amongst fashion forwards in India and abroad. His label believes that fabric has its own character waiting to be explored. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Agni.
Ujjwal, you've always wanted to become an engineer. How did design happen?
I think it was just a very spontaneous thing. Like you said, I was very much keen towards the technical side of career and life. And I think that's why I applied for architecture and I couldn't get through. NIFT happened by chance, you can say. I saw the application. The second time I heard the name of NIFT, and that's how I applied for textiles. Textile, because I thought it's one of the most technical part of design. Maybe it could be one. So that's how I got into NIFT and graduated.
Nice. So two elements of your clothing that I'm really intrigued are, of course, the colors, your color palette, and the cuts. What's the story behind?
So as I said, the technical part.
Yeah.
So cuts definitely define one of the technical aspects of my liking and aesthetics. It will always remain so. The layering and everything, and just to make it more impactful, more intriguing, more mysterious, and more, as the name suggests, Agni, more about self.
Yeah.
The color remains natural, which is mostly the natural tones. You can see the earthy ones, the blacks and the earth, the stone greys and the greys.
You know, we've grown up to learn that menswear is pretty limited as compared to women's wear. Does that notion still ring true?
Yeah, exactly. That's what the reason was for me. I thought there's a lot of gap in menswear, and what we knew was the basic formal wear and the basic occasion wear. There was nothing in the middle, something which is everyday, something that can translate from here to there, and something you would just want to wear, like, you know, just to keep yourself happy and keep yourself interestingly content in your own way.
So where do we stand, menswear, men's fashion in India? Are we heading towards the right direction?
Yes, I think we have come a long way, and the kind of 3 years back when I was just starting the label and getting into the groove of it, I did have a thought whether it will work well or not.
I think this is what I like about style, because it's so personalized and it's so fast-paced. What's in today is out tomorrow. So how do you stay on top of the game?
See, I totally believe in making clothes that are timeless, you know, that grow with time.
Yeah.
And maybe things that you can probably comprehend a very small bit today, but it slowly grows into you. And more you wear, more you see, more you understand the story behind, it slowly grows into you. So ultimately it becomes timeless. And that's what the whole push is. That's what I would want to do and make it reach that level. So what
do you have in the pipeline?
A lot of things. We're doing a couple of shows now in and outside the country. And recently we've been nominated for Wilma Prize, so we're on it. Let's see how it goes. This is cotton khadi. Okay. This is all hand spun, hand woven, and it's a 0 count. It's the heaviest weight. Okay. So keeping in mind their weather conditions too, in the winters they come downhill towards the plains, but still they face a lot of winters because in the Himalayan region, you know how it is. So I've tried to give a gesture of that layer through the inside shirt look with the top jacket look as a, you know, the cut piece cloth. Even though it's one piece completely.
Do we have like a complete look here that we have
we
for
do have
the collection?
Try to introduce that as a design detail rather than here as well, if you see. Also there's silver buttons and silver inside as well, and kind of silver detail here. Just to, because the women especially, they wear a lot of silver accessories and they like it so much. I was having a hard time thinking about how men can get into that genre of silver, and I thought, since we are giving a soul which is more Indian and the appeal which is more global, maybe we can introduce a detail which is more silver. So that's why we tried to make the buttons and the details in silver and kept that thing alive.
As a master of draping, can you show us a few of your pieces of how we men can like drape?
So this is one of the pieces. We did this one in a recent collection at Lakme Fashion Week. So it's like a attached layer and extended attached layer on the other side. So it goes as one piece, getting a seam here.
Okay.
And this one can come in the front as a front layer too.
So what do we pair this with?
I'll show you a draped trouser, which these Kabir Panthis really love to wear. So
Very nice.
They are mostly, like I showed you the IFS trouser, this one was more outwardly draped. So the flow was more outwards. This one is more inward. And since we were talking about this collection, it's called Free and Nothing. It's more about the inner self being free. You know? It's about the freedom, the inner freedom.
A clear deviation from the conventional. I reckon it's time you guys start bringing in some oomph to your wardrobe, because we believe that style is timeless and that men's dressing need no longer be boring.
Now those were some smart cuts and relaxed silhouettes. Gentlemen, I reckon you reshuffle your wardrobe so you don't miss that sartorial boat. It's time now to bring you the hottest from the Billboard and the latest music releases on New Music Friday.
On the Billboard this week, while Ed Sheeran continues to rule the Hot 100s with Shape of You still at #1 for the 11th week straight, Kendrick Lamar debuts at #2 with Humble, making it the highest debuting rap hit in nearly 7 years since Eminem and Rihanna's Love the Way You Lie.
I'm tied to the bed and set this house on fire. I'm just gonna
stand there and watch me burn. But that's alright, because I like the way it hurts.
Let's show them we are better. We're staying in Paris.
The Chainsmokers continue to make history by staying on for 49 weeks straight on the Billboard Hot 100s. That's the highest a duo or a group has ever stayed on the Hot 100s chart.
If we go down, then we go down together. We'll get away with everything. Let's show them we are better. On the highway to heaven, at the south of a smile.
And Sam Hunt's Body Like a Back Road also debuts on the Hot 100s chart at #6 as the very first country song to have ever debuted on the Hot 100s.
Body like a back road, driving with my eyes closed. I know every curve like the back of my hand. Just stop your crying, it's a sign of the time.
Been a few days since Harry Styles released his debut solo, and the response from fans and critics alike has been pretty incredible so far. Critics say Harry's latest single sparks memories of 70s rock staples from Beatles to Bowie, Queen, Prince, Oasis, George Michael, Robbie Williams and even early Coldplay, just to name a few. The song debuted at #1 on the Billboard and Twitter chart within a day of its release. The entire 10-track self-titled debut album releases on May 12th, but the single is clearly the sign of all times.
Moving on and getting over.
And here's some goodness on New Music Friday. John Mayer's back with his first full-length album in more than 3 years. The Search for Everything features 12 tracks and 4 previously unreleased works of John Mayer. And the latest music releases from Bollywood include Murshida in Arijit Singh's soulful voice. And there's Barish from the upcoming Shraddha Kapoor and Arjun Kapoor starrer Half Girlfriend. The track has been lent vocals by Ash King and Sasha Trupati.
The sign of the times right now is to take a super quick break on Unscripted, and when we come back, I've got Mahesh, Bhatt and Vidya Balan talking films and flops and lots more goss, reeling out from behind the scenes of Begum Jaan. Welcome back to your weekly entertainment fix here on Unscripted. Now without further ado, here's Vidya, Balan and Mahesh Bhatt, who are no strangers to success and failure in the Indian film industry. Take a look at our exclusive conversation. She entered Bollywood with a bang, and people definitely noticed as she won Best Female Debut back in 2006. She has no godfather in the industry, she's not shy, and she's always managed to stay true to herself. And talking about not being shy, I have one of Bollywood's stalwarts who has been instrumental in shaping Indian cinema. I have with me Vidya, Balan and Mahesh Bhatt. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
I'd like to start by congratulating you both on this fabulous looking film, the inspiring story of Begum Jaan set in Indian history's independence era. It's looking really good, and it looked like you guys had a lot of fun making the film.
I accept the congratulations gracefully, and I shall pass it on to the man called Srijit Mukherjee, who is not here, but I think he is the architect of this narrative. It's an extraordinary film that makes me very proud, and Vidya will be seen by the world like she has never appeared on screen.
Thank you and thank you.
Well, personally, I enjoy Vidya-centric films, and I think mixed with Indian history, it can be explosive, and your trailer has already proved this. But I am curious because the first time the film was brought to you, you turned it down, and 2 years later, when the director Srijit Mukherjee came back, you said yes in 2 days. So what changed your mind?
I didn't do it the first time around because I had some health issues, so I was attending to my health. Okay. You know, I decided to take 6-8 months off and just, I did get tempted, but I couldn't afford the temptation at that point, so I had to refuse it. But it's really my good fortune that 2 years later, Bhatt Saab watched Raj Kahini and decided to make it in Hindi, and Bhatt Saab and Srijit came to me. You know, so I think I was destined to do this film.
Mr. Bhatt, this, in all your years in the industry, over 4 decades now, the genre of this film is nothing like we've seen before. So what's prompted this change?
After a very glorious decade of successful films, we had managed to successfully make flop films back to back. Up your spine, and the taste of death ignites the passion for life. And that's when my very dear friend Shurita Sengupta from Bengal said that why don't you see the work of Srijit Mukherjee? He's the kind of guy who speaks your lingo. He has the irreverence ingrained in his cinema. We needed somebody as powerful as him to kind of bail us out. Right. We needed to be deconstructed.
And Vidya, right from your debut when you did Parinita, and then we moved on to Dirty Picture, Kahani 1 and 2, and now Begum Jaan, you've been lucky to have a lot of Vidya-centric films. So do you find yourself leaning toward, opting for films like this, or do you remain unbiased and you're happy to do whatever role comes your way?
You know, I'm genuinely very, very greedy.
Okay.
And it really, if something excites me, I'll do it. And then it doesn't matter if it's really a woman-centric film or it's a film where someone else is a lead protagonist and I'm playing. I have to be excited by it. But I can't complain because I'm being offered very interesting and exciting and challenging women-centric films. Yeah. And I'm enjoying being at the center of the action.
Yeah, why
so,
not?
You know, yeah. So I'm not complaining at all.
How does the fear of failure impact you? Because you've had your share of both, right? You've had films that have done really well. You've won the National Award for Dirty Picture and collected over 50 awards for your performances thereafter. So, and then of course you've had films that have failed to impress. So does this worry you in any way, or are you able to disconnect and...
Yeah, no, I don't think I can disconnect because, you know, I'm so close to the film that it does... it does disappoint me when a film doesn't do well. But you know what's happened is I've had a spate of unsuccessful films lately. And I've realized that when a film doesn't do well at the box office, it does not necessarily mean that the film wasn't good.
Okay, I'm going to ask you all a few quick questions so that your audience can get to know you all better.
Yes.
What is the favorite role that you've played?
Silk, Krishna of Ishqiya, and Begum Jaan.
Okay. And which was your favorite character in any of your films that has still stayed with you?
The character of Pooja in my autobiographical last film, Zakham, which was sourced from my mother, who was a Muslim and who lived a life of tremendous dignity, but thirsted for my father, and that relationship never flowered. So the longing and the thirst of that woman is kind of ingrained in every cell of mine. So that's why I could make a brilliant last. My swan song came from that memory.
Okay. The silliest interview question you've ever been asked?
One is that, तो आप 2 से 3 कब हो रहे हैं? As in, when are you having a baby?
Okay.
You know, like I could predict a date or... and even if I had plans, like I'm going to say that
Tell
in
you
an
now,
interview.
right? So what about you?
When are you directing Alia Bhatt?
Okay.
Or when are you coming back to film direction? For 19 years after I've given up, they asked me the same question, when are you coming to direction? And after Alia has become a successful star, when are you going to direct her?
I hope someone's taking notes of what not to ask. What has been the most ridiculous rumor you've ever heard about yourself?
I think every 2 months, I get to hear that I'm pregnant.
Oh gosh, say.
Yeah.
So you?
Of late, that I'm making Sadak too.
Okay, it was lovely chatting with the both of you. Thanks so much for joining us. And we wish Begum Jaan all the very best.
Thank you so much.
Coming on 14th of April. Go watch it, guys.
That brings us to the end of our show. I hope you've got your fill of entertainment to kickstart the weekend. I'll be here next week with the latest updates as usual. And until then, do tweet to us at WION_Unscripted. Thanks for watching. I'm Francesca Mascarenas. See ya.